Thank you very much. Distinguished delegate from Lao People's Democratic Republic, are there any other nominations for the position of chair? If there are no other nominations or objections from the floor, I formally announce that the Bureau for the Second Asian and Pacific Energy Forum will be thus composed of the following members. As chair, His Excellency Mr. Awais Leghari, Federal Minister for Energy Power Division, Pakistan, vice chairs all ministerial level delegates. Please join me in congratulating the members of the Bureau for their election. Your Excellencies, I would now like to invite His Excellency Mr. Leghari to the rostrum to assume his role as the chair of the ministerial segment of the Second Asian Pacific Energy Forum.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, on behalf of the government of Pakistan and over 207 million people of our country, let me thank UNESCAP and its dynamic executive secretary, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, for holding such an important forum at this crucial juncture when the global community on one hand, under the auspices umbrella of the United Nations, has agreed on sustainable development goals and now increasingly aligning their national policies and programs to achieve the SDGs. I had a lot to say, but I'll come straight to the point since I just have 5 minutes. We are at the moment, as we speak, Pakistan is undergoing the authoring of our national electricity policy and plan, and reflecting on what Mr. Liu had to say in his presentation, where he made policy recommendations for policymakers for the energy transition in Asia and the Pacific, where he talked of alignment of national energy policy with the SDG 7, development of an energy transition roadmap, develop business and technology models for universal access, level playing field for renewable energy, accelerating renewable energy growth, and leveraging the synergies between renewable energy and energy efficiency. This is precisely what is happening inside Pakistan as we speak. We are looking at authoring the electricity plan and the policy, which will be approved from the highest constitutional body of our country, which involves all the 4 provinces and the federation itself. Then I would also like to offer to send the policy draft to UNESCAP for their input, so that the synergies and the alignment of policy targets, as has been mentioned here at this forum, are ensured in Pakistan's policy. We're giving a huge amount of importance to renewables. We are trying to also synchronize our national water policy with our national electricity policy. We are looking at the policy over a grid of factors and issues, and that entire grid consists of the stabilization of our national grid, introduction of tariffs for systems which are based on solid waste coming out of our municipalities. We are looking at market transition, where we are moving from one purchaser of power and distributor into an environment where we would be having a national exchange for power, where bilateral and bilateral trade of power could actually be taking place. We are looking at introduction of the retail operators beyond the distribution systems to create more competition. We already have a law that we have passed in the past 2-3 months, and this law has created an environment, like just like Mr. Edward was saying, the environment is there for investments. We are the first country, we would be the first country. Just day before yesterday, our cabinet has approved the first ever competitive bidding process for a hybrid system of both solar and wind together. So we have places in Pakistan where there's wind energy available, where there is our prospects for wind energy. We are trying to get the wind and solar as a hybrid model, the first ever in the world. We are looking at our load centers. We are also looking at the possibility of doing a competitive bidding process for fuels like LNG or others, to be able to get the best price to pass on the benefits to our consumers, so that our base load plants also have a fuel diversity and energy security, but at the same time we have it at an affordable price. We are also looking, and we have already gone through easing off of regulations on our net metering systems across the country. Today, Pakistan has the most efficient net metering system regulations in the world. I'm very proud to state that. The wheeling regulations, where bulk buyers and sellers could ride over the system of the existing distribution companies to be able to pass on power in an efficient manner between businesses. This is already a reference has been sent to the regulator. The law has been amended. The regulator is now fully empowered to carry out its responsibilities. We are also completely supportive of the fact of issues and recommendations like a regional data bank for off-grid energy solutions. We want a regional carbon market, such as the EU market, to manage the transition towards low carbon growth trajectories. We are interested in seeing in the future a regional grid as the European grid to impart stability. We want countries like Australia, who have been the first to embark upon grid-scaled renewable energy storage systems. We want our countries to start speaking to each other more often, to share the successful models and programs that they have implemented across. We are looking at resource commitments, especially for hydel power projects across the region, which also have reservoirs, to try to mitigate the climate change effects on agricultural based economies across this region. We are also wanting to share experiences of programs in one of our provinces where there was a huge amount of electricity theft. The inefficiencies in distribution systems were actually marring the entire performance of the sector. We are introducing solar-powered agricultural tube wells, replacing more than 700 megawatts of power from inefficient electrically operated systems to efficient solar powered systems. So that's where conservation comes in. That's where saving of electricity and power comes in. That's where saving comes in as far as inefficient distribution systems are concerned. And that's why Pakistan, I believe, is on wanting to embark and has embarked upon the most cutting-edge technologies that are available in the world today. We are also very much interested, and I'd like to offer this, offer resources to build a renewable institute, a renewable energy regional institute, which Pakistan could contribute a huge amount to by taxing our fossil fuel-based power generation plants and extracting resources from there to be able to fund a renewable energy institute that could help the policymakers across the region in actually playing a part for renewables to be more important as, and maybe one day, part of the base load profile of our respective countries. So if there is any interest through the forum of UNESCAP, I'd like to offer any kind of cooperation for building and sustaining this renewable energy institute that could be housed in one of the best universities in our own, inside of Pakistan. Sharing of successful models, we've heard about off-grid solutions of countries like Bhutan, having the best and the most efficient off-grid solutions, reached out to the most remote areas of their country. So sharing such information and knowledge would be a great source of asset, would be a great asset and a great source of support to any of the countries in this region. With this, I'd like to thank again UNESCAP and especially the government of Thailand for having played their role in supporting this very interesting and informative and useful forums that we are having as we speak. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.